One of the biggest factors in your success in the online classroom is organization. A good way to get organized is to create a routine in your Blackboard navigation classroom attendance. This lesson will familiarize you with the elements of the Blackboard classroom so you know what you're going to be thinking about as you organize your time. As we go on this brief tour of the classroom, I would like you to be thinking about your daily online classroom attendance and your weekly routine of your online classroom attendance. At the end of this lesson, you will send me your plan. It can be a calendar or a checklist of activities, of the places you're going to visit in the classroom, just a plan that tells me how you're going to make a routine of how you visit the classroom. And the reason you make a routine is because the classroom can be overwhelming. But once you get used to clicking on different things every day or every Tuesday or every Thursday, it becomes less scary, as it were. Okay, so this is a classroom homepage. It's really important to notice what's on the page. First, because it's going to guide you through your web attendance routine, where you're going to click, what you're going to see, where you're going to attend. And second, because changes in this page have to be noticed if you're going to keep up with the course requirements. The sidebar shows you the important parts of your course classroom that your instructor has chosen to link for you. This course has in the first section announcements, course content, a calendar, discussions, groups, my grades, and illuminate sessions. The course calendar will show you due dates for your course assignments. It can be viewed by the year or the month. It can be viewed by the week or the day. And if you click on a calendar item, it will show you that item in detail, right down to the very minute that that item is due. The next stop in your planning should be your course messages. Course messages are used to communicate within the course. Instructors use this tool to give you a heads up on changes or to let you know how you're doing. And this tool is very much like email, except that it just works within the course. So you can communicate with one classmate, you can communicate with your instructor, you can choose to communicate with all your classmates and your instructor, or you can choose a group of classmates to communicate with. So by clicking on the Create Message button, you can choose, first of all, who you'd like to send the message to from a list of your classmates and your instructor. Then you simply write your message, just like you're doing it on a bulletin board. You attach what you might need to attach. You insert what you might need to insert. And then you hit Submit, and it will go to the people you choose. I like to include myself in my messages so that I don't have to go to my sent file to find out what went and to test my attachments and whatnot. The email comes to me in my inbox from myself, and I'm able to look at it and make sure it is what I wanted it to be. The next stop would be the discussions component. Most courses have this discussions component. These discussions are accessed through the discussions page. And it's important that you plan for your discussion postings. In a face-to-face classroom, discussions happen rather spontaneously. Or, from time to time the instructor will ask a question and then the discussion will come up out of that. In an online course, the discussions portion of the course is really how you delve into the material and pull out what you know and maybe learn what others know. It's really important for your discussion postings that you know your instructor's expectations about postings. How long should your postings be? How much detail should there be? Are you expected to use proper citations within your postings? And how many substantive replies do you have to classmates? You have to do these postings the way the instructor has asked you to. Number one, so you get the most out of the course, and number two, of course, so you get a good grade. Discussion posts usually refer to class readings. Sometimes they refer to Illuminate sessions or posted lessons that the instructor has put up for you to view. It's important that you schedule time for the readings or the other information you need to obtain before you think you're going to just sit down and do the discussion posting. A discussion posting does not necessarily take 5 minutes. A good discussion posting can take a great deal of time. Next, we're going to look at the My Grades page. It's a good place to visit at least once a week to make sure you're not missing anything and to see how you're doing. This page lets you know how you're doing, and often the instructor will leave a comment about your assignment on this page. If you wish to see the comments, as are shown here, you just click on that little View Full Comment button. Another way you can see comments on your assignments is often to go to the assignment drop box after the instructor has graded it, and if you click on the assignment, it will show the full comments of the instructor. The next section are the Illuminate sessions. Illuminate sessions can be synchronous, or they can be recorded and viewed later. If a session is planned, it should show up on this page, the Sessions page. For your first Illuminate session, or even your first Illuminate session on a different or new computer, you should really show up 10 to 15 minutes early. You want to make sure that you have downloaded all the necessary software and that you've tested your audio so that if you are required to speak during the class, you're able to do so. And again, this isn't only your first Illuminate session that you're attending as a person, but it's whenever it's a first Illuminate session for the equipment you're using. Illuminate recordings, which show up on this recordings page, are a good way to view an Illuminate session that you missed because of a scheduling conflict, or even sometimes instructors will post these sessions just for general viewing, and that's the way the session is going to be attended, is by viewing it. Some instructors like to include an assignment drop box in the left-hand column. This can be a link to submitting your assignments to the instructor. Other instructors will just embed the link in the course content page, and yet other instructors like you to email assignments. Okay, now we're going to look at the course content page, and you're probably going to say, you should have showed me this first. The reason I didn't is because the course content page is individualized for each course. Different instructors use different parts of the course content page. Different instructors include more or less of the required activities within the course content page. So you want to know where to find all of those other pages. You want to know that those other pages exist so you can look for them and examine them in case they're not included in the course content page. Again, the course content page is individualized in each class. Some instructors list each week with under course comment, and that's what they put there. Some include other items, like the course calendar, articles for the course, websites, and even some tutorials that they'd like you to view. A typical weekly page will list readings, class sessions to watch, and discussion questions. And here's another format for the weekly page with links to assignments and PowerPoints that are helpful with that week's work. This is a great page to use in your planning. However, you need to make sure to visit all of the pages we've discussed, whether or not they are listed on the course content page, to keep up in your courses. There can be changes, there can be announcements, there can be dates that are different here and there, and making sure that you visit all of these pages regularly will make sure that you get the most out of your course. Well, this is all we have time for in this lesson. The best way to figure out your best practice in online class attendance is to click around your course classrooms and see where everything is. Just make sure you have a plan, because higgledy-piggledy clicking will not necessarily make sure you get everything done in a week. And oftentimes, distance learning courses will have requirements that in the classroom would be met in a communication back and forth with the teacher, but in this course, in an online course, you're going to have to actually perform some activity to show that you have achieved that objective. There are often lists of these activities that you have to achieve on different parts of the course, and it can be intimidating unless you have a routine. A routine always calms anxiety. So, you should really make yourself a routine. Click around, figure out what's there, but make sure you have a routine so that you know where you're going to go, and maybe even a checklist so you know you've been there. Just make sure you have a plan to optimize your benefits from the course. Thank you for taking this little tour through your online classroom. To receive credit for this tour, please create a short document, 1 page or less, detailing a typical week of attendance and work in an online classroom. This could be a checklist. It could be just a list of the things you do as your daily attendance, or that you think you might do as your daily attendance. What parts of the classroom will you visit and how often? How do you think you'll complete the week's activities? For example, when are you going to do the readings? When are you going to do the discussion postings? When are you going to reply to discussion postings? Know that this will change a little bit, because in some classes, everybody posts their discussion answers on Tuesday, and then you can reply on Wednesday or Thursday. And in some classes, they don't post till Thursday, and you have to reply over the weekend. I'd also like you to evaluate this little mini lesson for me. If you could rate the lesson on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being the least helpful, didn't do a thing for you, and 10 being the most helpful, that'll really help you in your study planning. And if you could answer the following questions for me. Number 1, what did you find most useful in this lesson? Number 2, what did you find the least useful? No need for that in there. And number 3, what would you like to see added to the tour? If you could send your completed assignment to me via course messages, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you for taking this lesson, and I look forward to your responses.